Chapter review question number 10. A farm food supplier monitors the number of hens kept X against the weekly consumption of hen food Y kg for a sample of 10 smallholders. He records the data and works out the regression line for Y on X to be Y is equal to 0.16 plus 0.79x. Write down a practical interpretation of the figure 0.79. So, we have a farm food supplier who records or monitors the number of hens kept against the weekly consumption. So, we have on the x-axis number of hens kept, which is also denoted by the letter X in the question. And on the y-axis, we have the weekly food consumption by these hen. And that is also denoted by the letter Y. So, we have already been given the equation of the regression line. We have Y is equal to 0.16 plus 0.79x. So, if we recall the general form of equation of regression line, that is Y is equal to A plus bx, where b is the gradient of the regression line. So, clearly here 0.79 is the gradient of the regression line. So, gradient is equal to rise over the run. So here for the rise we have weekly food consumption. So this is the weekly food consumption by hen. Weekly food consumed. And run is the number of hen. So this is the number of hen. Now our gradient which we are given is 0.79. So if we write it as a fraction, it is 0.79 divided by 1. Therefore, the numerator is the weekly food consumed and the denominator is the number of hen. So the interpretation of this would go, this is one hen consumes 0.79 kg of food weekly. So that is the interpretation of the figure 0.79. Moving on to the part B of the question. So part B says, estimate the amount of food that is likely to be needed by a smallholder who has 30 hens. So Y is the amount of food in kg and X is the number of hen. So when X is 30 or when the number of hen is 30, we need to find out the amount of food that will be required. So we write the equation of the regression line. Y is equal to 0.16 plus 0.79, and in place of X we substitute 30 as the number of hen is 30. When we work it out, we get the value of Y as 23.9 kg, correct to 3 significant figures. So that answers part B of the question. Now in part C, the question is saying, if food costs 12 euros for a 10 kg bag, estimate the weekly cost of feeding 50 hen. So we need to first find out the weight of 50 kg, 50 hens, the weight of food consumed by 50 hens. So Y is the weight of food consumed by n number of hens. So now here we have Y is the weekly consumption of food and the number of hen we have is 50 hen, so 0.79, and in place of x, which is the number of hen, we plug in 50. So when we find the value, we get the value of y as 39.66 kg of food. So we require 39.66 kg of food for 50 hen, and what we are required to find here, that if a 10 kg bag costs 12 euros, then what will be the cost of 39.66 kg of hen food? So we know that a 10 kg bag costs 12 euros, so we'll find out a 39.66 kg bag costs how much. And this is a question of direct proportion, we can cross multiply. So we have 10x is equal to 12 times 39.66, therefore x is equal to 12 into 39.66 divided by 10, or rather we will change the variable, we will not keep it as x is the number of hen here, so it could be misleading. We will call it a variable, say w, or c for cost. So here also I will change it to c, and now the total cost will be c cost is equal to 47.59 euros, and that is the answer to part C.